I want to show you something that once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. It's in John 11, right before Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead. You probably already know the story. Lazarus is dead, buried, 4 days in the tomb. Everyone is grieving. Mary falls at Jesus' feet, weeping. And in the middle of all of this, Scripture says, Jesus wept. 2 words. The shortest verse in the Bible. But don't let that fool you, because it might be one of the most revelatory. Most people assume that he cried because he was sad, grieving with everyone else. But when you look deeper, the truth is revealed. The Greek word used is this word here, from dakruo, which means to shed a quiet tear. Not loud, chaotic mourning. That would have been klaio. This was still, centered, coherent. And the very next thing that he says, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. Past tense, already done, already heard. Then he says, I knew that you always hear me. No striving, just agreement, complete alignment. And then he turns and says, Lazarus, come forth. And here's the revelation. That tear wasn't grief. It was joy. The joy of already knowing. The joy of oneness with the Father. The joy of resurrection before it even happened. Jesus didn't just speak the miracle, he felt it. He didn't manifest from desperation. He manifested from coherence, when thought and feeling aligned, when logos and ruach merged, when heaven and flesh agreed. And here's the science that backs it. There is a famous study done by Dr. Bleslato at the University of Chicago. They took a group of basketball players and split them into 3 groups. One group practiced free throws daily. One group didn't practice at all. And the third group, they only visualized shooting free throws, but never touched a ball. At the end of the study, the group that only visualized improved almost as much as the ones who practiced physically, because the brain couldn't tell the difference between imagined action and real action, as long as it was emotionally vivid. The key wasn't just seeing it, the key was feeling it, because emotion, energy in motion, is what encodes the image into your nervous system. And that's what Jesus did. He felt the joy. He gave thanks. He entered full coherence before there was any physical evidence. And I can testify. I've lived this. In my second competition ever, I ended up winning my class and missed the overall by just 1 point. But it wasn't just how I trained. It was how I believed. It was the presence. It was the feeling. I spent more time in visualization and emotional rehearsal than I did in the gym. And I was doing 3 a days in the gym at the time. I saw myself on that stage. I felt the joy. I celebrated before it happened. And when show day came, I had already lived it in my body 100 times. I cried tears of joy before I ever stepped on stage. And here's the truth. It existed because I felt it first. Not just visualized it, not just said the affirmation. I saw it in the spirit, and then let it move my body. The Word became flesh. That experience taught me something I didn't have language for until I studied this moment at Lazarus' tomb. Jesus didn't manifest from want. He manifested from oneness. He didn't speak it into existence from fear. He felt it into form from faith. And now I see that kind of coherence, that deep alignment from mind, spirit, and body is not just spiritual. It's biological. It's how resurrection moves from the unseen to the seen. So when Jesus wept, he wasn't breaking down. He was breaking through. That tear was the moment of full agreement between heaven and earth, between thought and feeling. That tear was alignment, the place where faith and physiology met. It was the embodied yes to what the Father already willed. And that's when he said, "Lazarus, come forth." So now I want to ask you, what are you waiting to see before you believe? What if the key isn't trying harder, but feeling truer? What if your tears aren't weakness, but the water that breaks when something holy is about to be born? Jesus felt it, then he spoke it. Lazarus, come forth. And that's how I want to live. To feel what's true before I see it. To cry from completion, not from striving. To align with what already is. Because when you can feel the miracle before it happens, you're not far off from resurrection. Be loved and be loved, beloved.